John's just trying to make this end the season.
I just love how our season lasts like years.
Yeah, feels like baseball. Greetings and/or salutations, and welcome to Imbibe Cinema. The Imbibe Cinema podcast is brought to you by the Blue Whiskey Independent Film Festival, otherwise known as BWIF. We are currently accepting submissions for our 2024 festival. We seek independent, character-driven films of all lengths, styles, and genres. To learn more, visit bwif.com. I am the Festival Operations Director and MC, Jonathan C. Leggett, along with my co-hosts, Executive Director
Michael Nowens.
And Cinema Centennial Program Director
Trisha Leggett.
And our special guest, our filmmaker liaison,
Catherine Siegel.
Ooh, liaison.
Liaison.
There was a little French to that.
Only a little?
Yeah, well, it's all the rosé.
It's the Frosé.
Yeah.
I got the AC on.
Come on.
Yeah, no, like I'm schwitzing.
Yeah, we all are then.
It's a good drink.
Yeah.
It's a good drink.
This is Greta Gerwig's Barbie, which is available on digital download. The cocktail that we are imbibing is, as I have mentioned probably about 9 times now, the Frosé. It is some frozen rosé with some vodka and strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
It is quite effervescent.
Mm-hmm.
The recipe, as well as any pictures, are available on our website, imbibecinema.com. So, all right, who wants to kick off on this one?
We know it's going to be Trisha,
Right.
right?
Trisha!
Right.
I
was about
did
to
see
say.
the movie like 4 times.
Only 4?
So here's the thing. First off, I did not want to see Barbie. I
Oh.
didn't want to see this movie. It had no interest for me. I was like, right, next is the Elf movie. Like, what else are they bringing back? And I'm like, yeah, I know. But then my girls are young, and our neighbor, her daughter's same age, and we were both talking about how the kids were excited to see this movie, and we thought, I don't know, it's PG-13, but then all the Marvels are about the same thing, so like, I don't know. So we went and we're like, we'll just have a girls' night to go out away from our children and just make sure that it's appropriate. And then we saw it, and we laughed, and we cried. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best movie. And it's not appropriate for our kids yet. I mean, they won't understand it. Like, There's a lot that will go over their head. But then I saw it again because another person, my mom, was all like, oh yeah, people are talking about it. And I was like, I'll go see it if you want to go see it. And she's like, oh no, I don't want you to go out of your way. Okay. And so then she's like, I talked to all my sisters. They want notes. And I'm like, they can go see the movie.
Right.
Go.
I will
It
take
is-
everybody one
is
at a
being
time to see
released.
this movie.
Worldwide.
Right.
Yes.
Every time somebody comes up to me, I'm like, I will help you. Let me help you walk. I will walk you into this theater. But it's a really good movie on so many levels. But I have prepared a statement so I don't ramble. There are men that I love and respect that say this is not a movie they want to see. They don't have an interest. This is not a movie for them. They are misled. This movie is more than a discussion about a doll or women. It is a conversation about how we see, treat, understand gender as a society, and it is brilliantly done. I saw an interview from a while back in which Meryl Streep compared gender to language, which I thought was amazing. She said, women are raised in the language of men. I agree. It is how our history is taught, is how the world is run. We need to speak and understand it to succeed in this world. But men don't need to speak women, and why should they? That language isn't required to survive or to better their situation in this world, per se. One of the reasons I love this movie so much is that it is so hopeful. It takes us on a journey of what it means to be a woman, but also what it means to be human. And it is ridiculous and beautiful and insightful. I find how society treats the concept of gender fascinating. How threatened and confused we seem to be by it. No matter our gender, we all have the same capacity to learn and grow. We are equally capable intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. I would argue that we are more alike than we are different. We are equally human and should be respectfully treated as such. It breaks my heart that the world doesn't see that we let superficial details, differences such as reproductive equipment, get in the way of us essentially evolving as a species. After all, in the grand scheme of things, those differences are just accessories. Now, statement completed.
Wow.
Wow.
Very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really need to say anything. I just completely agree with what you just said.
Yeah.
To add to what Tricia had mentioned, we have a mutual friend who once said something so poignant and interesting to me, that was, when it comes to toys, you can't say that Barbie is not a boy's toy. You cannot say that it is only a girl's toy, because the big question remains, which part of their genitalia do they use to play with? If it is not specifically a penis or a vagina, then it is not a gender-specific toy.
Not that theirs should exist.
No, but at the same time, that you really can't say that, it is a gender-specific toy if it
And
does
we've
not
made
require
some
gender
strides.
parts.
The Amazon catalog, which has replaced the JCPenney Sears catalogs of old, because even though they're all online, they're like, we'll send you a catalog, because that's how the kids get
Right.
stuff, right?
Right.
So the catalog has pictures of kids playing with the toys, as catalogs do, having a blast, so that the children will be like, I want that toy. Look
Right.
how happy that child is. I will be that happy. But now you see, like, the whole trucks and superhero stuff. You see girls and boys playing with these toys, along with everybody of every
Diversity.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that everybody can see themselves represented in consumerism under the age of 18.
Which I think brings us into actually probably the first section, which would be child at play. So the way that the film let you know that you're in the world of Barbie, the fact that she doesn't use the stairs, she floats down just the way, you would. And the one statement, the giant hands come in and play with you. No, why would you think?
That's
Right.
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 That's creepy.
The way that the movie opens is, I think, very brilliant, because otherwise, jumping into it, it's Barbie Land, right? But before that, is it Helen Mirren?
It
she
is.
the-
Oh, yeah.
when she's describing dolls prior to Barbie, the only option was to be a mother to these baby dolls.
Yep.
And I thought, like, that's right. And I just thought it was a brilliant opening for what we were about to see, given it context. Because all of a sudden, the next scene, you see every kind of Barbie in every kind of occupation.
Yep.
And that's who we're playing with now. You know, we don't all have to be mothers.
She is the monolith. She is the progression of intelligence. She is the thing that helps us to become more enlightened as a species. We go from being the chimpanzee to being an enlightened being because of Barbie.
And
That
it's
is
not the
very-
only Stanley Kubrick reference
No,
in this
definitely
film.
not.
There are quite a few.
Yes.
That's the most obvious one, though.
Right. Like the Mattel's headquarters, Dr. Strangelove headquarters, very similar.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They also reference The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
The daughter's asking,
you
"Are you too
shining?"
shining? Are you shining with a Barbie right now?"
There's so many lines in the script that I love. I just love that this is just sweetly put in right in the beginning, because it's a movie about a major corporation's product, right?
Right.
And they are one of the many production companies, right? And so lawyer Barbie says, in our assessment, money is not speech, and corporations have no free speech rights to begin with. So any claim on their part to be exercising their right is just their attempt to turn our democracy into a plutocracy. This makes me emotional, and I'm expressing it. I have no difficulty holding both logic and feeling in the same time. It does not diminish my powers, it expands them.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, I love that. It's like a little disclaimer, and it's like, you can sue us.
The question I guess I would throw out as from a dialogue standpoint is the record skip moment. Do you ever think about dying?
Oh, yes.
I mean, how off guard did that catch you?
You're trying to remember, right?
Yes.
The first time you can. Yeah, I mean, it gets a big laugh. I think everybody in the audience
Absolutely,
just,
because everything
we're all
stops.
We're all,
Everything
I'm
stops.
trying to remember if it was part of the
trailer.
trailer.
Might have been.
Like, I feel it was
I don't-
certainly part of the trailer.
Oh, I don't think I saw that part in the trailer.
Oh,
I don't. Not that I remember,
I
but
just remember a lot of beach.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of beach. The park bench scene.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I know it. I just want to reference a little bit about this just because I think I totally agree with it. So according to a Variety article, this sequence, this whole scene was actually going to be on the cutting room floor. Studio execs wanted to cut it. And Greta said, if I cut this scene, I don't know what this movie is about.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with her more.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's of all of the moments in this movie that are incredible, and you like, the more you watch it, the more you unpack, the more you bring away from it. But I remember after seeing it the first time, this was the scene that stood out. This was the scene that I was like, oh my God, that was such an amazing moment,
So
and
beautifully
such
shot.
a beautiful what Greta does in the filmmaking is, it's like you're going along and you like, there's just this undertone constantly throughout the entire movie of like almost every scene, every moment of dialogue where there is just so much more beneath the surface, and you can either get it on a first viewing or get it later and all of a sudden have a realization of, oh wow, I didn't even realize that. But anyway, that was just something I wanted to share.
No, well said. No, that's there are scenes in this, and I think this is the first one, I could be wrong, where when you have like this deep moment, they'll start playing the Billie Eilish song.
Yep.
And then it builds, and then when you have the big, God moment, then the song takes off, and it's like she does this amazing job of like taking the silly, the lighthearted, the deep stuff, the like, just all of it, and just braiding it neatly together throughout. So it's just it's all tangled together. There's no way of separating it. Nothing's like slapped on top. It's just beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yep. Jumping ahead, there's two sections. The first of dialogue, America Ferrera's speech. I mean, I feel like that could be a podcast in and of itself. So I don't want to like go, but I think it's worth mentioning that it was like Trisha's speech in the beginning. It was such an important part. So I want to talk about that a little bit, but then I think a correlation to the park bench scene is at the end when Ruth is talking to Barbie about how the creation of Barbie was necessary to make sense of the world and to get us through the hard times. What? I mean, here's a Barbie.
Yep.
Right? You don't think about that, and then here she is just saying that us humans need to create these things in the world to help us get through life.
Yeah.
Right.
It's messy, it's complicated, and then you die.
And then you die. Right.
But the toy is specifically not meant to have an end. It's about the story. It's about the journey. It's about being able to work through stuff essentially on your own to find your own end.
Yes.
In therapy, they use dolls.
Yeah.
Do they?
I can't say that for certain. It's just what movies have told me. But
What about
that
Bob?
people will act like they can use with children. They can use dolls to act out, so they can express their feelings by having the dolls talk.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. No.
I mean, I could be making that up, or it could be from the 70s.
What
I-
about Bob?
What about Bob?
Is that a thing in What About Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Richard Dreyfuss's character has like dolls for every member of his family. And so whenever they get into an argument, the dolls come out so the dolls can have the argument, and then it's not between him and his family. And yeah.
Got to watch What About Bob again.
Oh, so good. But yeah, No, I know specifically that the line that Ruth has at the end was what really hit Trish.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she mentioned with the first time she watched it, she came home after watching it with her friend, and I was kind of sad because I did want to watch this movie. But she came home and she's like, so America Ferrera has this really empowering speech, but that was not the one that really hit home.
Yeah. Because I knew it already. I was like, yes, you're right. I get it. Yeah.
You're really just speaking truth to my own ears. Hopefully other people will hear it. But what was the line that specifically got you?
When Ruth Handler, or AKA God, talks, she says, as women, as mothers, we stand still so our daughters can look back and see how far they've come. I can't even talk about it. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Ken's wisdom is amazing. Like, my favorite line of Ken's is, we were only fighting because we didn't know who we were.
Right.
And it's like, oh yeah, well, no, that now world peace. Thank you. You figured it out, Ken.
Yeah.
Right. And like, that's another example of like how ridiculous the line is.
Yeah.
And how amazing the line is.
It's profound
It's so
and ridiculous.
Weird that you, like, how do you do that? I don't think that could even be replicated again. Like, how do you do that?
Well,
I just don't even know.
Yeah, it's the lyrics and just the song, the power ballad that is Ken.
Kenergy.
It's got all the Kenergy. It's Knuff. But like the whole idea that they start the song in this, storming the beach in Normandy with tennis rackets and lacrosse sticks and fuzzy balls and just absolute absurdity. But then when they finally get to the moment where the two of them beach each other off so hard that it becomes a dance montage.
It's a dance ballet.
It's a dance ballet. It's
in the rain.
dream ballet, and they realize that they don't need to fight, that they can work through their they can resolve their issues with, and it's just like, well, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
If only we were all that
right. No,
enlightened.
and as our dance expert, resident dance expert, did how do you feel about dance ballets?
Oh my gosh, dance ballets! There should be more of them.
Yes, there should.
There should be more of them.
Or dream ballets. What's the technical term?
Either I think it was, and I loved it. I mean, I loved that it was all men dancing. This incredible for Ryan Gosling dancing, hilarious.
Yes,
actually very good at it.
Yes,
I don't know who. Maybe he didn't know he had it in him. I loved it. I loved the dance sequence, and I also loved the dance sequence when she's like with the girls having girls' night.
Yeah.
And isn't that when this is the first time she says?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about dying?
Do you ever think about
Yeah.
It's in the middle of
It's in the middle of the dance
don't know
sequence,
why
and
I
I was
just
like,
said that.
oh,
Yeah. No, and I've seen interviews about this and how like they decided like Barbie's dance music had to be disco because disco makes the assumption you want to dance.
right. Oh, right.
And so it's very Bee Gees inspired
Yes.
song, and it does make you want to dance.
It does.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to going to weddings and hearing this song.
Yes.
And the dance moves are real simple, but when you do them in a group,
Uh-huh.
I was like, this is the thing. I mean, I don't do line dancing, but I would learn this.
And we watched behind the scenes. One of the things I found most fascinating about that specific dance number was that the choreographer of that one specifically pointed out that it wasn't about being crisp and in unison. It was about knowing your body and how your body moves and doing the same dance moves, but being your own unique individual at that same
That's
time.
awesome.
And so that, as each Barbie is technically just a little bit more unique than the next.
Right.
Well, and that bounces us back to play because not only are these toys and the idea of play, but the fact that the whole project from the get-go, they wanted everybody to channel their inner child and be free to play and to just let go and get silly. And that energy, I mean, that set had like the best energy.
Oh, yeah.
And they said that, because everything's real. There's no CGI. And they, like, all the crew got to like build these incredible sets.
Yes.
And the costumes.
Oh my gosh,
hair
the
and
costumes
makeup.
were amazing.
I mean, it was crazy.
It was amazing.
It's awesome. Weird Barbie.
I love Weird Barbie.
And
Who doesn't
Oracle.
love Kate McKinnon?
Right. Just amazing. And I think, the Barbie that, has been overplayed with totally nailed that. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then the choice that
The choice
that
of
weird
Birkenstocks?
the choice that
I can't. Don't even get me started.
you're not even ready.
Oh no, yes,
not
do.
ready.
Go.
All it means, Cash, is that you are already enlightened.
Yeah,
I was already enlightened.
Yeah, there
taking
you
the
go.
journey.
Oh my gosh. The fact that she had the choice of a high heel or a Birkenstock,
Yep.
Coming from a person who has a deep and passionate love for Birkenstocks, the only shoes I wear. Thank you, Birkenstock.
And how many pairs do you have?
I have 45 pairs of Birkenstocks.
Oh,
We counted not that long ago.
very enlightened.
Very enlightened. Very enlightened. Specifically, the line where she's like, why would I wear high heels if my feet weren't always shaped like this?
Right.
Right. Why would you wear high heels if your feet weren't always shaped like that?
Yeah.
You should be in a Birkenstock. Oh, sorry. The excitement.
Mm-hmm.
I had to buy pink ones after I saw it.
That's fair. And then even Barbie is wearing her. She's rocking her
the Birkenstocks at the
in
end.
very end. Yep.
At the very
Right, 'cause
end.
they are the road to enlightenment.
They are
Yes.
the road to enlightenment.
Which I found funny because I saw like a clip of some conservative person talking about how his friends were anti-Barbie, and he's like, "No, you guys, you didn't get it." And this is one of those things in our society where we all hear something because reality is the illusion of shared space, and so like we all hear it and we're like, "Oh yeah," but we all heard something different.
Yeah.
And he said, well, the reason it's more conservative than you think is that Barbie doesn't have a real choice. It's the illusion of choice, right? Because Weird Barbie tells her, she's like, you don't have a choice. You have to solve the problem. You can't just
Right.
go back to the way it was. I was giving you this. I was giving you this so you would have like the illusion of control.
Right.
You don't have it.
Right.
And
Because you can't just ignore a problem. It won't go away.
right,
Yeah.
you have to
through it.
solve it. You have to
Yeah.
work through it. And that's not what he took away. He took away that because all women have to be feminists or it doesn't work. And all women have to want to go and have a job. And nobody gets to stay home and have babies because nobody wants that. Oh, and if you do want that, you're wrong. And I was like, you know what I love about this? He's so adorable. He thinks we live in a society where you don't have to have two incomes. And
Yeah.
like, what is this, the 1950s?
Well, no, I mean, let's be perfectly honest, because if you remember quarantine, there was at least one House representative or senator who specifically said, "Oh, sure, that this person's going to get like $2,000. That's a new
Kitchen.
car. That's a new kitchen." It's like, what fucking kitchen is this guy building
Yeah.
that he thinks somebody's going to renovate their fucking house for?
Like, you guys are supposed to be good with money. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
It's like, clearly you have been living on a government pension for too long if you think that that's going to do shit for us fucking
It's like what is it, the from the Ellen show when she does the game with Bill Gates of like how much does milk cost? Bill answers and then you get the real answer.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But now that I've opened the political door, the other thing that I think is really amazing and it's very inclusive. It's very, everybody's involved in this conversation in a world in which we're all canceled for speaking up when we're not supposed to be speaking because we didn't know we were supposed to not be speaking, and everybody didn't get the memo, and some people should have the memo. It should be obvious and whatever. Anyway, everybody's included, and the best way that I think, like, one of the best things is like Ken is an accessory. Ken has no power. He lives in a world in which Barbie runs the world, all the money, all of it.
Right.
She runs the world, and he's just kind of at Barbie's mercy. And then you go to the real world, and Ken's like, mind blown.
Right. He's like, I'm just being respected because of who I am.
Yeah.
Another line where you're like oh God.
Yeah.
They asked me for the time.
Right.
Whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yes, they're silly and there's a lot of, dialed up. But it is a lovely mirror situation in which you can, it's like, put yourself in this position.
Yep.
And then one of my favorite monologues is when Barbie talks to Ken at the end.
Right.
And she's like, you're not your house. You're not your girlfriend. You're not, like beach. No, you're not even beach. You're not any of it. You're you. And as she's saying it, Margot Robbie's doing this brilliant job of, at the same time, you're watching her go, oh, I'm not my house. I'm not this. Like, she's coming to the same epiphany as she's saying it in front of Ken. And it's like, no, there's something deeper. There's something more to you than your stuff and your status.
Yep.
And
who you're with.
Right. And it's just so profound. It's like, wow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
Maybe it's Barbie and it's Ken.
Uh-huh. Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
good.
Amen.
I mean,
Well, you got to love yourself before you can be loved.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you should, make an effort to know who you are.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So there, listener.
I'd like to talk to the costume department and try to understand or wonder how many other brands of shoes did they go through before they decided
fell
on
on?
a Birkenstock? Or was Birkenstock always the number one choice, as it always should be?
Well, you can reach out to Jacqueline Duran.
Okay. Because it was so brilliant. So I would just be curious about that. I would be curious, like, is Birkenstock the road to enlightenment, or did you have to try so many other things first? That's what I'd like. I was just curious.
I think I would have to say you'd have to come up with something that is current,
Right.
iconic,
And not a heel.
and
Right.
not a heel. And so
Right.
you really,
I
while
guess that narrows
love
the pool.
It really does.
Yeah.
While I love my Converse, I don't necessarily think that is, something where you'd be like, oh, this is like an enlightened and
Yes.
relaxed and groovy. I mean, your Converse was like the hip thing in the 80s, maybe the 90s.
Yeah.
But like, I think that, just the idea of a Birkenstock and what Birkenstocks are,
Yeah.
I think they are iconic enough and relaxed and groovy enough
that was
And
the
now
choice.
you should
Yeah.
get another pair.
Okay.
They should send it
twist
to
my
you
arm.
for this free advertisement.
Imbibe Cinema, brought to you by Birkenstock.
Oh my goodness.
Some
Oh
free
my
stuff.
God, it would be my happiest day.
Ours too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd become the full-time fourth member of the
Yeah, right?
It'd be liaison. I can't even say liaison.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Brand
Filmmaker
ambassador.
and Birkenstock liaison.
Yes.
Let's see.
Brand ambassador. I'll take it.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah. Another thing, like if you're looking at Barbie from your childhood, I remember it was not my favorite toy. I don't have like a childhood passionate memory, but I do remember we had the Barbie dollhouse and it had an elevator, and that was very important that it had an elevator.
You had the dollhouse.
Yeah, we were spoiled. And we also had, like, I remember really, really wanting a brunette Barbie. Like, that was, because Princess Leia is, awesome. And I thought, like, brunettes were better. And, yeah, and there weren't really any brunette Barbies. And so, like, when there was one, I was like, that's the one I want. I want the one with the brown hair because it's so cool because they're all blonde. And now my girls have, like, 800 Barbies. And initially, I was not on board with it because I was like, I don't know. It's a lot of superficial, like, clothes and accessories. I know small motor skills are good, but I don't know how I feel about what I'm handing to them and, like, having them look like, what is that really saying? And then it's like, oh my God, these dolls, they come in every shape, size, color. I have brought some for them to look, for our guests to look at, because I'm just like, Barbie has come a long way.
Oh,
and there's some really gorgeous representations of all women. And yes, I also brought out the merman. That's our John Cena doll.
Yeah, but it's not actually the John Cena doll,
It's
but,
just the merman.
I mean, like, she brought that out, and I immediately said, "Oh, how about a brewski for my big thirsty man?"
Yeah. Is this in the Barbie line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get out
No,
of here.
that's the secret reveal Barbie mermaid series,
Yeah,
and
they
that
have a
is
movie.
the only male, I think. There's an entire movie.
There's a movie, and
Oh, for
and he's
feck's
not
sake.
the only. There's a boy mermaid because they
yes.
have Skipper, or not Skipper, Chelsea. Chelsea
Chelsea,
have plenty.
yes.
My kids have like a bucket of Chelsea.
Oh.
But they were
the
so
youngest
excited.
sister.
They were so excited to have like a little boy, even though he's a boy, not a man. He's a mer boy.
A moi?
Yeah, because they were like, oh, something different. Someone to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
And like the tails come out and they're like combs. No, not
What?
that one. But his is definitely, I think his comes out. It's crazy.
I know.
I do have one complaint for Mattel.
Uh-oh.
Dear Mattel.
Dear Mattel. There is a friend of Barbie's. I can't remember her name.
Not Midge?
Posey or Paisy or something. Anyway, she's over in the basket of things, and she is she's got pink hair.
Oh,
Super
yes.
cool. She's a girl with curves.
Yeah.
She's a bigger girl, and that is amazing. Could she have more than one outfit, and could it not all be like a muumuu? Like, dude,
Yeah, that is
really sad that they don't have more dolls like clothing.
Like,
Oh.
she's great. And
Except
the
she
girls
doesn't have
loved
clothes
her,
that
but the
fit her.
problem is like they'll try to change her and do Barbie things, and it no work.
No,
Did she come with her accessories?
She
Yeah,
came
it was
with
like
one outfit,
and
but
it
like,
was like basically a poncho.
Yeah,
and you're like, dude,
yeah. Sadly, she should probably come with a number of like.
we'd sell
Yeah.
so
Articles of
much more
clothing.
if you had kids who like that doll. We would sell so much if you could give her own line.
Yeah.
Of
I'm so
clothing.
proud of her thighs.
Right?
Yeah.
They're real.
They're real thighs.
Yeah.
I mean, they still don't touch.
She
so
probably does
whatever,
not have
but
back issues.
Right. No.
Right.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
She has
Like,
all
she's
her
got
proportions.
realistic boobs.
She's
She has-
proportioned.
Yeah. Well, and they've gotten better on that too.
Oh, have they?
They've taken it down a notch.
All right.
There's no what is it? What is it? Growing up, Skipper. Or what was
Skipper.
it?
Better.
The one
Oh,
that,
God,
the
yeah.
one that was one of the things about the movie that is fascinating to me is the discontinued
Yes.
line of dolls that you find
Yes.
out are real because you don't believe them necessarily, and then you see in the credits they
Yes.
show the real version of the doll,
Oh yeah.
and you're like, holy crap! Like Sugar Daddy.
Yeah.
Really?
With the
Oh my-
earring?
No,
Oh, no, it's magic.
no.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
magic
sugar
earring.
daddy. It's Sugar's daddy. Because you got to remember, the dog is named Sugar, and he is
he's daddy.
Sugar's
And
daddy.
He's an
So you don't
older
say it's
gentleman.
Sugar Daddy. It's Sugar's daddy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, that was totally meant not that way at all.
And what year did you like? We found that because it's in the credits. It says, wasn't it like
It was after
2009 or something?
Yeah,
like
it was
that?
something like that. So with the term sugar daddy had already been.
Oh yes.
Yeah, no, that was bad.
Yeah.
And this is where Mattel had suffered. Where I think a lot of us were like, God, she may have a job in every profession, but why does she always dress like a
Yeah.
hooker? Like
Yep.
seriously,
Oh.
give her some real clothes. And I am very proud that the doctor wears scrubs now. That she has like scrubs and the coat, and
And
you're
the
like,
coat.
you look like a doctor,
Right.
not like you're playing doctor.
Can I get a clicky pen and a sharp thing?
Yeah, I can do an epidemic.
Can I do one appendectomy? No.
No.
Can I talk to a doctor? I am a doctor.
No. Maybe we should take a moment and imbibe more after this.
Okay.
Hey there, listener. This is Michael with Imbibe Cinema and the Blue Whiskey Independent Film Festival. Did you know that Imbibe Cinema isn't just a podcast? We've also got a variety of articles and reviews available to read on our website, plus a streaming membership that gives you access to a new batch of independent films every month. Become an Imbibe Cinema member today at watch.imbibecinema.com. That's watch.imbibecinema.com. Thanks for supporting and imbibing the various content we offer. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. And we are continuing to discuss Greta Gerwig's Barbie. Enjoying this podcast? Please subscribe or follow us on all of your favorite podcast providers to get new episodes as soon as we release them. Rate and leave us a review to help our show reach a larger audience. You can also follow Imbibe Cinema on Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram. All right, I have switched up to bourbon because there just was not enough of the Frosé.
Oh, fair.
Why is the Frosé gone?
We switched to tea.
Yeah.
Wusses.
Um,
Somebody's got to drive home.
That's right.
I've got my second drink and tea. So
Yes,
I'm
nice.
Double fisting.
multitasking.
Has about a Frosé and warm tea. That hot
actually.
tea. Ooh.
really, it's quite good.
Isn't that good?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Tricia.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you,
You're welcome,
Catherine.
Tricia.
So wait, this was from Catherine to Trisha, and now I'm imbibing it.
Ooh.
Yes. And that is how the world works.
That's
we
right.
all work together.
We all work together.
Just
Yeah.
like this
In
movie.
Barbie Land, yes.
Yeah.
Kendom.
You would think
It's like
that
Barbie.
a construction site at lunchtime would be a
Excellent place for
place
feminine
femininity. But
Yeah. No.
that was really
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, like the lines where she's like, I don't understand what the word. I don't have a word for it. It's like I'm conscious, but it's like of myself.
Right.
Or
right.
there's an entendre, which I think might be double.
Right. Right.
no line is thrown away in this
No.
entire.
No.
No.
Yeah, amazingly well written, and again that is Greta and Noah Baumbach, and the fact that they apparently wrote this for the most part during their quarantine.
And then they had a baby. Like
Yeah.
they had yeah. So like,
Quarantine.
goodness no, they didn't. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think around that time. I don't recall. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know. But like, I heard there was a like that had happened around that time. I obviously, please fact check me. I have no idea. But if that being said, if you do have a newborn, then God bless them. They wrote an incredible script, and they had no sleep, I'm sure.
Right.
And the child is still living. So that's amazing. Like, people can't do that. That's crazy. Lady Bird, she got nominated for Best Director for Lady Bird, if I am correct. Michael is nodding. She would then be the fifth woman to be nominated for Best Director in the history of the Oscars. Fifth woman to be nominated.
Wouldn't fly in Barbie Land.
No.
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 And then this isn't even her baby. This is Margot's baby.
Oh.
Like, no, sorry. Now I slitched. I know what I did. I did.
wait,
Talk about, like,
what?
Switched?
Yeah, she slitched. She is.
slitched.
These frosés are good.
I really can't have wine in any form, shape, or. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this project
There we
was
go.
Margot Robbie's project. This was her baby. She doesn't have Greta Gerwig's baby.
Weird
Not that
surrogate shit going on.
Not that there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Right.
That is not what's happening.
No,
Right.
no. But obviously, there was a lot that I don't know. So.
All right, so yes, in 2018, she was nominated for Best Director as well as Best Original Screenplay for Lady Bird. She was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for Little Women in 2020. Those are the Oscars. There's a number of British Academy nominations as well as Critics' Choice, including though she also won the Critics' Choice for Best Adapted Screenplay for Little Women.
Mm.
Yes. Now there are great performances, and normally I like to, focus on that aspect. And Margot Robbie is amazing in this film,
Amazing.
and
Stunning.
everybody. I mean, we've talked about, like, during the break, we were giving more credit to Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Yes.
He's just brilliant. They're all. I mean, down to like the smallest parts. Everybody brought just amazing. And so yes, there should be many nominations in this film's future.
Yes.
I'm talking directly to the Academy because I know they listen to me.
Speaking of just casting, like, so the narrator, having Helen Mirren
Yes.
be the narrator, fantastic. So many wonderful moments in the narration. I know, Catherine, what was the line that you really liked?
Note to the filmmaker, Margot Robbie is the wrong person to cast if you're trying to make this point.
Yes, and that's when she specifically says, "I'm not beautiful anymore."
I'm not
Yeah,
beautiful
pretty.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder, did Margot know that was going to happen? Going into, like, when performing that scene, that this was going to be voiceover,
whether it was actually in the script
or if it was, a
later.
moment where we were like, we need to comment on
Well,
this.
I mean, you're not wrong in the sense that, like, Helen Mirren and the narration does take a very prominent pace in the first act, and then it disappears for a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not really until that quick hit
Yep.
I mean, she does intersperse occasionally. I almost feel like I need to watch it a third or fourth time now.
Okay.
But I will, believe me.
No argument
We're
here.
getting to the point where the girls might actually watch it.
It also, the opening song also plays into the narration because there are moments when the song, ooh, you good? Like in the song, as Barbie's getting ready for the day, I thought it was, do you
Yeah,
remember?
that's
Yes,
Lizzo.
and that's Lizzo.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You good? Okay. And then continues the song.
And how it's different the second time, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Same
Morning
song,
As her
but
episode.
it's
day,
different.
Yes.
that's where it starts to go off.
I don't remember what pink initially stands for. The song's called Pink. And I think it's like never sad is N and K is cool. And then it switches in the second one. P stands for panic.
Yes.
And I is I'm scared. And N is nauseous. And K is death. And you're like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah. Pretty, intelligent, never sad, and K is cool. And then speaking of just the music, the Billie Eilish song,
What was that made for?
and the fact that plays
beautiful.
pretty much
Beautiful.
whether it's just the chord progression and the underscore of it, that happens to play every time that Barbie is having a philosophical moment. It's when she's on the park bench and she's watching.
Existential Barbie comes
Yeah,
into play.
Yes.
Suicidal thoughts, Barbie?
Right.
No, it's like because there's the one of the things is depression Barbie.
Yes.
It is like she like stalks her former estranged best friend online. She eats an entire bag of Skittles.
Yes.
And she watches the Colin Firth version.
Of
Pride and
Pride and
Prejudice.
Prejudice, yes.
Antidepressant sold separately.
Yes.
So good.
There's cellulite Barbie.
Yep.
Yes.
So good.
So good.
And then the average is
It's like ordinary Barbie.
Ordinary Barbie.
She could be
She's-
a mom, or maybe she's not a mom, or maybe she has a job, maybe she doesn't, maybe she
Maybe
has a
she's a
job and
president,
she's a
or maybe
mom. It
she
doesn't
doesn't.
really matter.
but she really just
She has a
wants
flattering top,
Yeah.
and she
A
wants
flattering-
to get,
yes,
get
a
through the
flattering
day
top.
feeling somewhat good about herself.
Yes.
that is a terrible idea. Now, that's going to make a lot of money. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Okay,
yeah,
then we'll
that's
do
a-
it. Then we'll do it.
Oh, we haven't talked about Will Ferrell.
Oh, Will
You also
Ferrell.
haven't talked about Alan.
Oh
Can
my
I-
God,
Oh,
Michael
Michael
Cera.
Cera.
Oh, first of all, I love Michael Cera
Many reasons.
deeply. But his delivery of there's no multiples of Alan.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about that. And then we don't know why. We
Yep.
don't know.
Or Alan and I will give all the Ken's foot rubs. No.
No,
I do not enjoy
not like
doing
that. No, I do not.
Or
like
he
that.
tries to leave, and they're like, no, you can't go, you can't leave. Nobody will notice. It's happened before. In sync, all Alan.
Yes.
Yes.
Him.
Yes, even in.
Once they figure out how to build that wall horizontal.
Yeah.
So it's vertical. Michael Cera, his delivery is fantastic. His portrayal of Alan is amazing. Yeah.
And I didn't even know, again, that an Alan doll is real. I didn't know that Alan was a real doll or is. I don't even know. Oh, but Ken needed a buddy.
Yeah.
Right? And he's a ginger.
And
like
he's a
the
ginger.
only ginger. In all the ways that you see Barbie today, Mattel noted not enough redheads.
So Will Ferrell.
sorry.
I was thinking about Alan.
No, because Alan's amazing. Oh, and Midge. Speaking of
Oh,
people you didn't know were
redheads.
real, Midge. Oh yeah, in the film or no? Because I mean they're redheads in the film, but it doesn't matter. That not the point. The doll at the end. I think it took the second viewing in the credits where I saw that Midge's stomach comes off and there's a fetus inside.
Stop
and,
it.
Yeah,
No.
and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's in the end
that's-
credits.
that's you can have a delivery.
Again, the most amazing thing about the production design and Greta really, letting Sarah Greenwood and like all of these people who were on the artistic design, like she really just released them. And this is again where I think during the break was when we were kind of talking about the fact that like Will Ferrell noted if Mattel had read the script, they would never have let this happen.
Right.
Everything in that film is historically accurate. They threw every real character, real horrible design flaw in there to make fun of it.
We've had 2 female CEOs, one in the 90s and one at another time that I cannot remember.
Yep.
Right?
And that's true. the executives at Mattel. There are 11 that I saw in my Google search. I deep searched on Google. It's not like I wrote a paper. But they are executives. There were 11 of the high level executives of the corporation. 4 are women.
Okay.
Currently.
So baby steps.
Yeah.
Like we tell Ken. Circular court judge. Sorry, circular court judge. It's when you're new court in the round. But yeah, no, you don't get a Supreme Court seat right off the bat. You have to work because women have to.
And my personal favorite is Helen Mirren saying, "And one day, the Kens will have as much power in Barbie Land as women have in the real world."
But also, like we all spoke during the break about people not liking this film and thinking that it was very anti, angry man. And I think it's very interesting how feminism in general is they talk about stigma, right? And stigma for many things in this world have like a negative, and like feminists are all supposed to be very angry. And I can totally get why you would be angry, but that's not what this is.
Yeah,
it's
right.
not.
It's not. No.
Well, and it's about like self-worth. The film and like Margot Robbie's speech preceding America Ferrera's speech, where she talks about how I'm not a nuclear physicist. I don't know how to fly a plane. I'm not a Supreme Court justice. I'm not President Barbie. I'm just Barbie. I'm not good enough to do any of those things. And I think a lot of us feel like that, where it's like I should be this big success and I'm not. So I have like less worth then. And that's not the case.
Yeah. Everyone is important. Everyone moves the ball
forward. And when we work together, many hands light work, folks.
That's right.
Besides the Stanley Kubrick references, there's classic Hollywood is referenced in different ways, or there's a nod to them. For instance, the travel between Barbie Land and the real world is a series of transportation vehicles, and all of that is live. None of that is CGI. And how they did that is they had a series of like treadmills, and they had like 3 levels of speed of different items. So like there's the outer space one, and there's the boat, and but all of it was there on a set, and there are crew members moving things, and that is something from the silent film era. And then they also the Dream Ballet. We talked about the Dream Ballet.
Yes.
They reference how like this used to be a thing that was very popular in musicals, like Oklahoma, for example. But I just think of Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah.
And then they referenced how the way they painted the background in the Dream Dance Ballet. I guess dance ballet is redundant, isn't it?
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The background is painted to be like the Singing in the Rain version, which is like, oh, good, because that's the first thing that comes to my mind is that whole sequence.
Which is funny because actually Grease is the first thing that came to my mind, and mainly because of the fact that you heard me, this is the bourbon and the Frosé. This is why we imbibe. Grease specifically comes to my mind because of the fact that when Ken is in Century City, he is getting he's getting inundated with all these
male influences
and flashes of masculinity, and there is the scene from Grease.
Grease lightning,
right? And Rocky's a big thing.
Yes, and horses.
When they're traveling from Barbie Land to the real world on the snowmobile, the boat, the astronaut, are those actual Barbie toys that exist?
Ooh.
Like, was there a snowmobile? Is there a spaceship? Is there?
I feel like the trailer, the camping trailer. That's got to be a
that
thing.
is definitely
okay.
We have that.
Barbie snowmobile.
Version.
Oh, there you go.
There
ladies
it is,
and gentlemen.
There it is.
There it is.
That's a fast Google right there. Do we want to talk about Mark Ronson's "I'm Just Ken"?
And I think initially it was supposed to be like this number they kind of wrote to throw in somewhere, and then it became like this 11-minute huge war battle dance
production.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Hold on, I actually pulled this up. Be a 10.
Songs are catchy.
Because I'm just Ken. Anywhere else, I'd be a 10. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of blonde fragility? I'm just Ken. Where I see love, she sees a friend. What will it take for her to see the man behind the tan and fight for me?
Oh yeah, and that's another line where America's like they're gonna deprogram the brainwashed Barbies.
Yes.
Right.
And America's like freshening up Barbie's makeup so she can go and pretend like with Ken that she's interested in Ken, and she goes like as she's like, do you know he was really mad. I don't know if he like still likes me, and America's like, no, he still likes you. That's why he was so upset, and she goes, but I don't want to hurt him, and she goes, yeah, he took your house, he brainwashed your friends.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like, and it's like, wow, this could be a speech applied to several people who had a bad breakup.
Yeah. Right.
Bad breakup.
It's like, I don't want to hurt him. Well, he took your house. He brainwashed your friends. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In that scene, I have another note for the costume design. Not a note, just an applause, really. And is that a real Chanel purse that she's carrying? Like, can people buy that out there in the world when she's getting ready to go seduce Ken? She's got Chanel beads on in a Barbie style, and then she's got this pink heart Chanel purse. Where is the? How cute is that?
Right?
Like,
No.
these costumes are unbelievable.
And
not
the
wrong.
necklace.
The necklace.
Oh my God. That is the necklace that when you're a kid, you're like, that's the one you want because it's got all the colors.
Yep, it has
And
all the
it's
colors.
so big and sparkly.
Yes, yes.
And that was one of the things that Greta talked about, how like she would have to like choose the right pinks and the right this and that. And she was like, and I had to like shut off the adult and be like, what did I want when I was a kid?
Yes.
Like what was pretty?
Yeah.
And the necklace, they nailed the necklace.
Yeah,
I was
the
like, as a
props
kid, I
being
would totally
over-
want that necklace.
was
Overly large.
It was, like the milk carton.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I honestly, the from a production design standpoint, and they showed it in the like behind the scenes, but like the fact that the refrigerator, half of it is practical, half of it is decal.
Yes.
Like, just how
Thoughtful.
Delightful.
how thoughtful, how brilliant, how playful, how I mean, like they really did just let their own childhoods come to light.
Right. And they had
Ah,
to like
that's
make
gorgeous.
up the rules. Like how fast does a Barbie car move if it's
Yes.
in motion? 7 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So, Poke the Bear, Michael now reads bad reviews, and then we will give our feedback to that individual.
Got it.
Right.
I'm ready.
Just like your reaction to what somebody else got out of the movie that was totally
Didn't get
different.
Movie.
Got it.
All right, so Scarlett Harris says if Barbie were made 15 or even 10 years ago, I would have eaten it up like a perfectly toasted waffle with a dollop of cream. Instead, being feminist-blamed about the patriarchy and gender inequality every 5 minutes just soured me to it.
I don't think that there was any spoon feeding of gender inequality. I don't really feel like it was being beaten over the head with it.
No.
I think it was a perfect story in the sense that it flips the mirror in a way that we need to look at ourselves as human beings and realize that maybe we can all be better.
What I find it really interesting about this one is if Barbie were made 15 or even 10 years ago, I would have eaten it up. This is less about the movie and more about the reviewer.
Yeah.
You think there's been a movement. I mean, politically, 2016, there's people had hats. There's been a lot more talk about something that we had kind of backslid, I think, as a society about equality in gender, and then gender in general. Right now is very, because we're all concerned about our bathrooms and whatnot. If cerebral palsy or cancer or something was like the thing that we're all talking about, and they're like, I'm so over cancer. That was like 15 years ago. I'd be on board fighting cancer. But now I'm like, why do we fight cancer? I mean, come on. Like, it's just like, you seem like maybe you're burnt out on this topic because
Yes.
you've heard it a lot. I get it. It doesn't make it less worth talking about because it's still a problem.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one I'll leave you with, which I find to be a real head scratcher. This is Supporto Report. I have referenced them before.
Okay.
This is real brief. Barbie is, at best, half a movie.
What?
Well, they do make you think, huh?
Like, did they fall asleep for half the movie and missed it? Or...
It's possible.
Because
They
when
wanted
I
it to be
fell
3
asleep
hours,
during
they-
Rogue One and woke up at the very, very end when
Oh,
everything
dear.
was going sideways, I was very confused.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you felt like you saw half the
I
movie?
felt like I saw maybe an eighth of a movie because that's what I saw.
Maybe they thought it should be longer, like it should be like a 3-hour Oppenheimer kind of thing.
Maybe.
Oppenheimer.
Barbie was better than Oppenheimer. That's all I have to say.
Ooh.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well,
Well,
we greatly appreciate all of our listeners for choosing this podcast and for supporting independent film. So keep an ear. Keep
on your
keep-
ears.
Keep
Just
ears.
keep an eye.
ears. Don't do a Van Gogh. Keep an ear out for our next podcast. To check out our show notes or drop us a note, visit imbibecinema.com. I'm Jonathan C. Leggett, and thanks again for imbibing with us.
you're so welcome.